Please, just wait. He's still awake.
Shaking. He's still awake. My stomach tightened. I wasn't supposed to hear that. I stood still, listening, barely breathing, as a faint glow from our bedroom lit the floor. Something felt wrong. Cold, sharp, like the air before a storm. I stepped closer, and the floor creaked under my heel. "Emma?" I called softly. The whispering stopped. I heard quick tapping, then silence. My pulse rushed in my ears. I pushed the door open and saw her sitting on the bed, clutching her phone against her chest like she was hiding it. She looked up fast. "Mikhail, you scared me." My eyes narrowed. "Who were you talking to?" "No one," she said too quickly. "Just work stuff." "At midnight?" She forced a smile. "Deadlines." I stepped closer. Her hand tightened around the phone. I saw fear flicker in her eyes, and that fear told me more truth than any words she could say. I held out my hand. "Let me see it." "Why?" she whispered. "You tell me." She shook her head hard. "Michael, don't do this. Not tonight." "That's the problem," I said. "Tonight feels exactly like the night something's wrong." She backed away an inch. "Michael, please." Let me see the phone." She looked down, lips trembling, and for a moment I almost felt bad. But something inside me had already cracked open. She slowly loosened her grip, and I took the phone from her hand. "Michael," I didn't answer. I unlocked it. She didn't even try to stop me. That silence alone was enough to tell me everything. The messages were right there. Lucas Reed, my best friend. I opened the chat, and the world went quiet. "Did he leave yet?" "Yeah. I'll call you when he sleeps. I miss you." "You make me feel alive, Emma." I felt my chest go hollow. My fingers shook as I scrolled. Their words cut through me like broken glass. "Emma," I said, hearing my own voice crack. "How long?" She gasped and covered her mouth. "Michael, I'm sorry." "I'm so sorry. How long?" I repeated. She sobbed. "A few weeks. I didn't mean for anything to happen. I swear, you didn't mean to betray me?" My voice sounded like someone else's. "You didn't mean to cheat with my best friend?" "No," she cried. "I don't love him. I don't, then why?" I demanded. "Why, Emma? Tell me why." She shook her head like she didn't even know the answer. "I was lonely." "You were working late." "He talked to me." "It just happened?" I cut in. "You don't just happen into betrayal." "I know," she whispered. "I messed up. Please, Michael, look at me. I'm begging you." I stared at her, but I didn't see the woman I married. I saw a stranger wearing her face. "You destroyed everything," I said quietly. "Don't say that," she cried. "Please don't say that, Michael. I can fix this. I will do anything. Just talk to me. There's nothing to fix." She crawled toward me on her knees. "Michael, please stop," I said, stepping back. "Don't touch me." She froze, sobbing, her hands shaking. "I never wanted to hurt you. I swear I didn't. I was stupid. I was confused. But I love you. I love you, Michael." "No," I whispered. "You loved the way I loved you. That's different." She broke harder at that, collapsing forward with her head in her hands. "Please don't leave," she begged. "Please, I'm begging you. Just talk to me. Yell at me. Hit me if you have to, just don't walk out." I looked at her, really looked at her, and all I felt was emptiness. "Emma, you already left me long before tonight." She reached for my leg, but I stepped back again. Her cries filled the room like something dying. I walked to the closet and grabbed a small bag. She watched every move. "What are you doing?" she cried. "Leaving? No? Michael, please, you can't, please. Don't do this. I don't have anything left to stay for." "I'll change," she sobbed. "I swear. I'll change. I'll cut Lucas off. I'll block him. I'll delete everything. Just stay. Please stay, Emma," I said softly. "You already chose him." She screamed into her hands as I zipped the bag. I walked to the door. She crawled after me, grabbing my ankle. "Please, Michael. I can't live without you." Gently pulled my leg free. You should have thought of that before." Her sobbing followed me down the hallway like a ghost. Outside, I called Daniel. My voice shook. "Can you pick me up?" He answered fast. "Where are you?" "Home," I said. "Not for long." He arrived in minutes. When I climbed into his truck, he looked at me with wide eyes. "What happened?" "Emma and Lucas," I whispered. He didn't ask anything else, just drove. The next morning, I stood in front of a judge. Emma cried across the room. I didn't look at her. "Do you agree the marriage is irretrievably broken?" the judge asked. "Yes," I said. And just like that, everything ended. Even if my heart hadn't caught up yet. Asterisk, I kept my eyes on the floor because looking anywhere else hurt too much. The courthouse felt colder than I expected, like every wall wanted to swallow me whole. My mother sat beside me and squeezed my hand gently. But even that small comfort made my throat tighten. "Michael," she whispered. "You're shaking." "I'm fine," I lied. "You're not." Across the room, Emma wiped her tears again and again, like she was trying to erase her own face. I could hear her sobbing, even though she tried to hide it. Every sound from her twisted something inside me. She whispered, "Michael, please look at me." "I didn't. I'm sorry," she cried. "I never wanted this." My jaw clenched so hard it hurt. "You should have thought of that earlier." She covered her mouth and broke into louder sobs. The clerk called our names and we stood. My legs felt heavy, but I moved anyway. The judge looked at both of us with tired eyes, like he'd seen 1,000 broken marriages before lunch. He said, "Michael Carter and Emma Carter, confirming both parties are present?" "Yes," I said, voice cracking. Emma choked out, "Yes, I'm here." The judge shuffled papers. "This is a petition for dissolution of marriage. Before we continue, is there any final statement either party wishes to make?" Emma took a shaky step forward. "I need to say something." I closed my eyes. "Please don't." "I have to," she whispered. She turned to the judge. "I love my husband. I made a mistake. A horrible mistake. I would do anything to fix this. I don't want this divorce." Her voice echoed in the silent room. The judge looked at me. "Mr. Carter?" My chest rose and fell too fast. "I didn't want this either," I said. "But she destroyed us. I can't. I can't live in a marriage where I'm scared to trust the person I sleep next to." Emma broke down harder. "Michael, please, don't say that. Don't make this real. Please, give me one more chance. I swear you won't regret it." I stared at her through blurry eyes. "I begged for your loyalty without ever saying a word, and you still threw it away." She reached toward me. "Because I was stupid. Because I didn't think. Because I was lonely," I snapped. "Then you should have talked to me, Emma. Not him." Her legs buckled. She caught the edge of the table to stay upright. I know I ruined everything. But losing you is worse than anything that happened. Please, choose us. Just once more." My voice cracked again. "There is no us. Not anymore." Her scream turned into a sob so raw it made everyone in the room look away. The judge cleared his throat gently. "Mr. Carter, are you stating that the marriage is irretrievably broken?" Emma shook her head violently. "No, it's not. Please don't answer that. Michael, don't say it. I'm begging you. I will fight for you every day. I will earn your trust back. Just don't say it's over." My mother whispered, "Honey, breathe." I swallowed hard, my entire chest collapsing in on itself. The judge repeated the question. "Is the marriage irretrievably broken?" Emma sobbed. "Michael, please don't." I looked at her red eyes, shaking shoulders, trembling hands. The woman I once loved more than my own life? The woman who shattered me. My voice barely made it out. "Yes." Emma collapsed into her chair with a scream. I flinched but stayed standing, even though my legs shook. The judge nodded slowly. "The court accepts the statement. The marriage is dissolved." And just like that, it was done. Emma cried so loudly it echoed down the hall as we left. I kept walking. My mother held my arm to steady me. Outside, I leaned against a wall, gasping like I couldn't catch air. My mother touched my shoulder. Michael, look at me. I shook my head. I didn't want this. I didn't want any of this. I know, she said gently, but you couldn't stay. I whispered, why does ending something I didn't break hurt this much? She hugged me. Because you loved her honestly. I pulled away, wiping my face. I need to go. I can't breathe here. She nodded and let me walk to Daniel's car. He sat in the driver's seat looking scared for me. Dude, he said softly, you look destroyed. I am, I answered. Just drive. We didn't speak the entire ride. When he dropped me at his apartment, he held my shoulder. You're not alone. I feel alone, I muttered. You won't forever. Inside, I sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the wall until it blurred. My phone lit up, Emma calling. I hesitated. Another call, then another, then another. I finally answered. She cried so hard I could barely understand her. Mikkel, please, I can't live without you. Please talk to me. Please don't leave me like this. I didn't mean anything, I'd swear, just say something. Please, I whispered, I can't do this anymore. No. Don't say that. Michael, please, I'm begging you, give me one more chance. Please don't hang up. Don't go. Don't. I ended the call. She called again and again. My chest burned. My eyes flooded. I whispered to myself, why does this feel like dying? When the last call came, I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I blocked her number. And the silence was the loudest thing I'd ever heard. Asterisk, everyone kept acting like it was just another day. Morning. Michael, one coworker said as I walked in. Yeah, I muttered. Morning. I could feel their eyes linger, but no one asked anything real. Maybe I looked fine on the outside. Maybe the suit and tie were enough to fool people. But inside, everything felt like broken glass. Brandon walked past my desk, stopped, then walked back. Dude, you look rough. I'm good, I said too sharply. He raised a brow. You barely slept. I can tell, I said. I'm fine. He crossed his arms. Right, and I'm the president. I sighed. Brandon, not today. He lowered his voice. Something's wrong. What happened? I clenched my jaw. Nothing that matters now. He stared at me for a moment. You want to talk? No, I snapped. He held up his hands. Okay, chill. I'm just trying to help. I turned away, annoyed at how gentle he sounded. Everything felt irritating, voices, footsteps, even breathing around me. At lunch, I sat alone and opened my phone. Bad idea. The gallery app opened by itself, and the first photo was Emma laughing on the beach. My stomach twisted. I scrolled. More pictures, her hugging me, kissing my cheek, holding my hand. My fingers shook. Brandon slid into the seat across from me. You eating or just staring at memories? I locked the phone fast. Don't. He leaned forward. Is this about Emma? No, I said quickly. He raised a brow. Liar. I slammed the phone down. Drop it. He didn't flinch. Dude, you're angry at everything that breathes right now. You think I don't notice? I rubbed my face, feeling heat build behind my eyes. I don't have space for this conversation. So you want to suffer alone? I'm not suffering. Really? He asked. Because you look like you're one loud noise away from breaking. I pushed my chair back. Stop talking like you know anything about my life, he sighed. Fine, pretend you're okay. Just know I'm here if you stop acting like a brick wall. I walked out before I said something even worse. After work, Daniel called. You coming home with me? No. Yes, he replied. I'm not asking, I said. I'm fine, he snorted. If one more Carter lies to me today, I'm jumping off a bridge. Get in your car. Come to my place. Now. Daniel, now. I hung up, but drove there anyway. My chest felt tight the entire ride, like someone was pressing a weight against it. When I walked inside, Daniel looked at me and shook his head. Damn, man. You look like hell. Thanks, I muttered. I mean it, he said. Eat something. I'm not hungry. He crossed his arms. Eat anyway. I stared at him. Why is everyone acting like I'm falling apart? Because you are, he said calmly. And pretending you're fine won't fix anything. I sat on the couch, rubbing my temples. I don't want to talk. Good, he said. I wasn't planning on asking you to. I looked at him, surprised. Then why force me to come? So you don't sit alone and rot, he answered. You're angry. You're hurting. And when you're alone, it gets worse. It already is worse. Then stop pretending. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. I hate this. I know. I hate how she made me feel. I know. I hate that I still feel anything at all. He nodded. That one makes sense. My throat tightened. Why wasn't I enough? What did I miss? What the hell did Lucas have that I didn't? Daniel sat down beside me. Nothing. He didn't have anything. She just made a stupid choice. I gritted my teeth. A stupid choice that destroyed everything. He placed a hand on my shoulder. Yeah, it did. My anger cracked enough for the pain to slip through. Hours later, after Daniel went to his room, I lay on the couch staring into the dark. Nights were the worst. My thoughts always came alive at night louder. Otter! Why, Emma? I whispered into the empty room. Why wasn't I enough for you? My voice broke. I covered my eyes with my arm. How did everything fall apart so fast? The silence answered like it always did, with nothing. My phone buzzed. Email, Emma, again. I didn't open it, but I saw the preview. I'm sorry. Please read this. I can explain everything. I miss you. I can't breathe without you. Please don't hate me. I threw the phone aside. Another buzz, another email, then another. I clenched my jaw. Stop. I growled into the dark. Just stop. But she didn't stop. A fourth email came in, then a fifth. I pressed the pillow over my ears like that would silence the guilt crawling under my skin. Her words weren't even fully read, yet they still reached inside me and twisted everything. My chest felt tight again. My throat felt raw. Why are you making this harder? I whispered. The phone buzzed one more time. I didn't move to check it. Instead, I stared at the ceiling until my eyes burned. Anger kept me awake. Pain kept me breathing in the world. Somehow, still expected me to walk in tomorrow and smile like nothing happened. Asterisk, I found Lucas behind the gym. Leaning against the wall like nothing in his life had ever gone wrong, he looked up and grinned. Michael, he said casually, been waiting for you. My fists clenched instantly. You really think I came here to talk? He shrugged. I figured you'd want answers. I want the truth, I snapped. Start talking, he sighed like I was inconveniencing him. Look, man, things got messy. Emma came to me first. She was lonely. My jaw tightened. Don't you dare blame her for your betrayal. I'm not blaming, he said, smirking. I'm explaining you slept with my wife. He nodded like he was confirming a weather report. Yeah, and feelings just happened feelings? I stepped closer. You call that feelings? He lifted both hands. Don't get dramatic. My voice rose. You stole the one person I trusted most. Oh, come on, he scoffed. Stop acting like she was some angel. She made her own choices, because you pushed your way into her head. He laughed. You think I had to push? She practically fell into my arms. Hearing him talk about her like that made something inside me ignite. You're disgusting, I said. He rolled his eyes. Grow up, Michael. Marriage ends. People change. She found someone she connected with. I laughed bitterly. She connected with you? He shrugged again. Look, you were busy, she was lonely, I was there. Life happens. You ruined my marriage. I didn't ruin anything, he said. It was already breaking. You don't know a damn thing about my marriage, he smirked. I know more than you think. My voice broke into a shout. You were supposed to be my best friend. He pushed off the wall. Relax. It's not like I killed anyone. Killed everything that mattered to me, he snorted. Then maybe your life wasn't that solid in the first place. My hand shook with rage. Why are you doing this? Why act like none of this means anything? Because it doesn't? He said simply. I stared at him, stunned. You don't care? Nope. He cracked his knuckles. Look, I tried to apologize, but you're being sensitive. My chest heaved. You betrayed me in the worst way possible. He shrugged again. Emma said you'd react like this. What did you just say? He smirked. She said you'd lose it. Get all emotional and dramatic. Lucas, I warned. Stop talking. He leaned in, lowering his voice to a mocking whisper. She also said you were never enough for her. My vision went white-hot. He laughed when he saw my expression. What? Too honest? Say that again? I growled. He tilted his head. Emma deserves someone better. The words shot through me like a bullet before I even realized what I was doing. I grabbed him by the shirt and slammed him against the wall. He laughed. There it is. The meltdown. I shouted. He smirked again. Hit me. I dare you. My fist flew before my brain caught up. The punch cracked against his mouth, sending him stumbling sideways. Blood smeared across his lip. He spit some onto the concrete, wiped his mouth, and smiled. Damn, he chuckled. She really broke you. Another punch almost left my hands, but I stopped myself at the last second. He shook his head. You think you're the victim? She chose me, not you. No, I said through clenched teeth. She chose a mistake. He laughed again. Then why did she stay so long? Why didn't she run back to her perfect little husband? Because she was confused, I said. Because you messed with her head. No, he said, stepping closer again. Because she wanted more than you could give. I balled my fist again, but he kept talking. You were too soft, he said. Too predictable. Too boring. Lucas, I growled. He leaned in. She told me you couldn't satisfy her the way I could. That was the line that burned deeper than anything else. I took a step back, chest rising and falling fast. I'm done talking to you. What? That's it? He laughed. One punch, and you're out. I'm done, I said again. I won't give you another second of my life. He smirked. Run away then. It's what you're good at. I turned around, refusing to face him again. But as I walked off, he shouted, Tell Emma I said hi. I didn't look back. For the first time in weeks. I felt something shift inside me, not pain, not heartbreak. A spark of self-respect rising from whatever was left of me. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need his approval. I only needed to walk away, and this time, I finally could. Asterisk, the first text came early in the morning. Emma, can we talk? I stared at the screen for 2 seconds, then set the phone face down on the table. Brandon looked at me. You gonna answer that? No, you sure? Yes, he shrugged. Cold. Necessary, I said. He nodded slowly. Fair. The second text came during lunch. Emma, I'm not apologizing again. I just need to talk to you, please. I read it once, then locked the screen. No anger, no shaking hands, just silence. Brandon leaned in. That from her again? Yeah, you good? I'm fine. Asterisk, he studied my face. You're not angry. I don't have energy for anger. That's new. I like it better this way, I said. After work, I grabbed my bag and headed to the gym with him. The place smelled like iron and sweat cleaner than the mess in my chest. Brandon slapped a weight onto the bar. Start with this. That's heavy. Good. You need heavy. I exhaled. Fine. As I lifted, he said, So she's texting, huh? Yes. What did she say? Nothing important? You really don't care anymore? I kept pushing the weight up. It's not caring, it's shutting the door. Brandon nodded. She probably hates that. I'm not trying to hurt her. No, he said, but silence hurts more than yelling. I'm not interested in war. Too late. You already won the first battle. I didn't respond. Later that night, Daniel called. You coming over? No, I said. I'm heading home. You sure you want to be alone? Yes. He hesitated. If something feels heavy, Daniel, I said calmly, I'm okay. You sound different. I feel different. He let out a breath. All right. Just remember, you don't owe her anything. I know, I said, and don't answer her texts. I'm not good. Hung up at home. I showered, made a simple dinner, and turned on a movie I didn't really watch. My phone buzzed again. Emma, Lucas isn't who I thought he was. I didn't answer. Another buzz. Emma, can you please just say something? I placed the phone on silent and set it aside. No anger. No shaking. Just distance. A quiet kind of power. Meanwhile, though I wouldn't see it firsthand, I knew what was happening to her. It showed between the lines of every message. Her words grew shorter, more panicked, more scattered. The next morning, Emma, he's been cold to me lately. Then Emma, did you ever feel like I didn't deserve you? And later, Emma, I can't sleep. Each message was her unraveling, piece by piece, but I didn't reply. I poured myself coffee, got dressed, and headed to work at my desk. Brandon rolled his chair next to mine. So, silent strategy still going strong. It's not a strategy, I said. It's peace. He let out a low whistle. Man, she must be losing her mind. I didn't respond. He leaned closer. You don't feel even a little bad? No, you're lying. I shook my head. Ignoring her isn't revenge. It's survival. He nodded. Respect. My phone buzzed again. Brandon peeked. That her? Yes? Want me to throw the phone out the window? No? You sure? I've been wanting to do that for weeks. I smirked despite myself. Just let me work. During lunch, I stepped outside. The sun warmed my face, and for once, I didn't feel heavy. I sat on a bench, scrolled through music, tried to breathe normally. Another message popped up, Emma. I'm crying every night. I don't know who I am anymore. I locked the screen instantly. Not my responsibility anymore. I whispered to myself. A group of coworkers walked past, laughing, talking, living. The world kept moving. I wasn't stuck anymore. I got up and went back inside. That evening, I went to the gym again. Brandon tossed me a towel. You're consistent. Proud of you. Trying to stay busy. It's better than staying broken. I wiped sweat off my forehead. I'm not broken. He gave a small smile. Not anymore. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I didn't take it out. Brandon raised a brow. Her? Probably. Gonna check? No, he laughed. Cold. I like this version of you. It's not cold, I said quietly. It's finally breathing. Back home, I made tea and sat on the couch. I stared at nothing for a long time, letting the silence settle. My chest still ached, but weaker now, softer, like the wound was closing. My phone lit up again, Emma. Lucas went out tonight and didn't tell me where. I feel sick. Another message. Emma, I made a mistake. I know that now. Another, Emma, you were always good to me. I missed the person I was with you. And finally, Emma, please don't ignore me, please. I turned the phone face down. I whispered to the empty room, I'm not coming back. Emma. My voice didn't shake this time. I leaned back, exhaling slowly. The quiet didn't suffocate me anymore. It felt steady. For the first time, I wasn't drowning. For the first time, the war she started didn't own me. And for the first time, I was winning without fighting back. The coffee shop smelled like roasted beans and warm. Cinnamon too peaceful for the chaos I carried inside me. I stood in line, staring at the menu without reading it. My mind felt foggy. A soft voice behind me said, You okay? I turned and saw her, Sarah. Light brown hair, gentle eyes, a soft expression like she was used to comforting strangers. Yeah, I muttered. Just thinking, she smiled calmly. Thinking looks heavy today, I exhaled. Something like that. When I stepped aside to wait for my drink, she ended up next to me. She didn't crowd me. She didn't stare. She just stood there quietly, like she understood that silence sometimes says more. After a moment, she asked, "Rough week?" I hesitated. "Something like that?" "You don't have to tell me," she said softly. Just sounded like someone who needed to hear a gentle question. I blinked. No one had spoken to me like that since. Before everything, she held her cup with both hands. "I'm Sarah, by the way, Michael. Nice to meet you, Michael." Her tone felt warm, not flirty, just kind. I nodded. "You come here often?" "Every morning," she said. "The quiet feels good. People watching is my therapy." I snorted softly. "Hope I'm not ruining your session?" She shook her head. "Not at all. You look like someone carrying more weight than you should." People like that don't ruin anything. They remind me life isn't simple. I stared at her for a second. "You read people a lot?" "Only when they need it," she said. My drink arrived. I grabbed it, but she didn't walk away. Instead, she tilted her head. "You look like someone who's been holding their breath for too long." I swallowed hard. "Maybe." She stepped to the side so I could sit if I wanted. I wasn't planning to sit, but my legs moved before I decided. She sat across from me, leaving enough space not to overwhelm me. "You don't have to pretend around me," she said softly. I frowned. "You don't even know me." "I don't have to," she replied. "Pain has a way of showing itself." I looked down at my coffee. "I'm fine." "You're not," she said gently. "But that's okay." Her words hit something inside my chest, softly but deeply. I sighed. "Why are you being nice to me?" "Because everyone deserves a soft moment," she said. "Especially when life has been sharp." I swallowed again. Her voice was warm enough to make the room feel lighter. She took a sip of her drink. "Let me guess." Something ended. My jaw tightened. "Something like that? And it wasn't your choice?" I nodded slowly. She didn't push. She didn't ask names or details. She just said, "Then your heart is tired. You should let it rest." I let out a shaky breath, not sure how. "Start by breathing," she said. "Really breathing. Not the rushed kind you've been doing." I took a slow breath without meaning to. "There you go," she smiled. A strange warmth spread through me, peaceful, quiet. I hadn't felt anything like it in months. I looked at her again. "Why does it feel so easy to talk to you?" "Because I'm not here to judge you," she said. "And I'm not here to fix you. I'm just here." I stared at the table. "Feels weird. Talking to someone who listens." She laughed softly. "Listening is underrated." I nodded. "Yeah," she lifted her cup. "You don't have to explain your whole life. But if you want to say one sentence about what hurts, I can hold it without dropping it." I hesitated, then whispered, "Someone I trusted broke me." Her eyes softened. "I'm sorry." That kind of hurt doesn't fade fast. It hasn't faded at all. "It will," she said gently. "But not if you keep burying it." I frowned. "I'm not burying it. You're trying to," she said without judgment. "Your shoulders are too stiff. Your voice keeps stopping halfway. That's what people do when they're hiding their pain from themselves." I let out a short, humorless laugh. "You're too observant," she shrugged. "Someone has to be." We sat in silence for a moment. A peaceful silence. A silence that didn't demand anything from me. Then she said, "If you ever need a place to breathe again, I'm usually here around this time." I nodded. "I might take you up on that." "You should," she said. "You look like someone who hasn't had a gentle morning in a long time." I didn't answer that. I couldn't. She stood, picking up her bag. "Take care of yourself, Michael. You too," I said quietly as she walked toward the door. Her presence felt like sunlight leaving the room. Then everything froze. Right outside the shop window, Emma was standing still as on me, face pale, body tense. She had been watching us when our eyes met. Looked like she'd been punched. Her mouth parted as if she wanted to say something, but no sound came out. She stared at Sarah's fading figure, then at me, then at the empty seat across from me. Her expression twisted with jealousy sharp. Instant. Uncontrollable. I didn't move. She shook her head slowly. Hurt flashing across her face, I looked away for the first time. Her pain didn't drag me under. Sarah's soft presence was still, lingering in the air like a warm echo. 5 and 6, a stranger, had given me something Emma never did, a moment to breathe. I was finishing paperwork at my desk when my phone buzzed. Another email from Emma, short subject line, please. I didn't open it. Instead, I deleted it and kept working. Somewhere across the city, though, everything was shifting. Later, I heard from Daniel that one of Emma's coworkers, Heather, had seen me at the coffee shop with Sarah. Apparently, Heather had said he looked different, happier, and the girl with him was beautiful. I could only imagine how Emma took that, but I didn't have to imagine long. I heard about it from someone else later that week. Emma confronted Lucas first. She stood in their small living room, voice trembling but not loud. Lucas, can I ask you something? He didn't even look. I heard something today. Congratulations, he muttered. I'm serious, she said. Heather told me she saw Michael with someone. A girl. Lucas shrugged, thumbs still tapping. So? Emma repeated, shocked. He was with a girl, Lucas, and... He asked again. Emma stepped closer. Why are you acting like this doesn't matter? Because it doesn't, he said. He's your ex-husband. Not your problem, her voice cracked. But, she said the girl was beautiful. Lucas laughed once. Good for him, then. Emma stared at him. Good for him? Yes, he said. Good for him. Maybe he finally moved on from crying about you. She flinched. Lucas, why are you being like this? He rolled his eyes. Can you not start? I'm tired, she whispered. Do you even care? About what? He said that he might be happier than before. Lucas scoffed. Emma, if you're jealous, just admit it. Her voice dropped. I'm not jealous. I'm just confused. You're confused a lot, he said. She swallowed. I just thought, maybe he still needed me. Lucas finally looked at her. He doesn't. Emma's eyes filled. You don't have to be cruel. I'm being honest, he said. Michael doesn't want you. That's obvious. She took a shaky breath. Lucas, why are you so cold lately? Because you're exhausting, he snapped. Every day it's Michael this, Michael that. If you want him back, go chase him. I'm done babysitting your emotions. Emma stepped back like he'd hit her. I'm not asking you to babysit me. Good, he said. Then stop acting like a lost puppy. Her tears escaped. I'm trying, Lucas. Try harder, he muttered. She whispered, why don't you care? He smirked. Because I didn't sign up to be your therapist. Emma's breath trembled. I thought we had something. Did we? He asked dryly. Or were you just running away from guilt? She covered her mouth, trying not to break. Lucas. He sighed. Look, I'm going out. Don't wait up. And he left, just like that. Meanwhile, I was at home warming leftover pasta when my phone buzzed again. Another email. This one even shorter. I feel like I'm losing everything. Please, just one sentence from you. I stared at it, emotionless. I didn't open it. I deleted it like the rest. Brandon called a few minutes later. You coming to the gym? Yeah, I said. I need the distraction. You good? I'm getting there. He paused. You sound stronger. I feel stronger, I said. Not fixed, but stronger. You're allowed to bleed a little, he said. Just don't let it drown you. I gave a small laugh. I won't. At the gym, Brandon handed me a weight. Push it. Don't think about her. Not thinking about her, I said. Good, he replied. Because she's definitely thinking about you. I know. He studied my face. You okay? I hesitated. Part of me still aches. But the noise is quieter now. That's progress. Yeah. As I lifted, I felt something shift again, a quiet strength rising from inside. Not loud. Not forced. Just steady. While I grew stronger, Emma was unraveling. I didn't hear her voice. But her emails said enough. I don't. Know what I'm doing? Lucas barely talks to me. Miss Hua was with you.
Please.
Respond, please. I deleted them all. Not. Because I hated her, because silence was the only way to heal, and because reading. Her words still tugged at something deep inside me, a wounded part that hadn't fully closed. I admitted it to myself in the dark that night. Yeah, I whispered. A part of me still bleeds. Not enough to go back. Not enough to break me again. Not enough to stop the quiet war. I was finally winning. Emma had chosen her path. Now she was realizing the cost. And I was finally learning to walk away without looking back. Emma's regret didn't arrive like a storm. It settled quietly, slow, cold, heavy like winter creeping into an empty room. She was alone in her apartment when it finally hit her. Later, Olivia told me how she sat on the floor holding old pictures of us. Her cheeks wet but silent, like she was afraid to hear her own crying. But my life kept moving. I was leaving work when I saw her standing near the entrance, small. Fragile eyes, red hands trembling around a folded photo. Michael, she whispered. I didn't slow down. I didn't speed up either. I just kept walking. Please, she said softly, almost breathless. Just 1 minute. I stepped past her. Not today. Her voice cracked quietly. Do I deserve even one? I didn't answer. I walked to my car and heard nothing but her soft, broken inhale behind me. No yelling. No chasing. Just a quiet collapse I didn't turn back to see. Later that evening, Daniel called. She came to your work. Yes. What did she say? Nothing that changes anything. You okay? I'm fine. He paused. And her? I sighed. She's finally realizing it's over. Daniel exhaled. Took long enough. That night, Sarah and I sat at the same corner table in the coffee shop. She stirred her drink slowly. You're wearing that look again, she said gently. What look? The one where you pretend something doesn't hurt when it still does? I leaned back. She came to my job. Sarah nodded softly. Did you talk to her? No. How did that feel? Necessary, I said. But heavy, she offered a small warm smile. Pain doesn't disappear just because you choose yourself. It fades. Slowly. I looked at her hands wrapped around her cup. You're too good at this. She laughed quietly. I'm just good at listening. You make it easier, I said. That's the point, she whispered. Meanwhile, Emma went to Olivia's apartment later that night. Olivia called me afterward and told me what happened, not out of gossip, but out of concern. She said Emma looked pale, exhausted, like regret had drained the color out of her. Liv. I messed up, Emma whispered. Olivia sat beside her. You knew that months ago. But it hits different now, Emma said, voice barely above breath. He's moving on. I saw him with someone. She looked kind. Olivia didn't soften it. Michael deserves kind. Emma looked down. I know, and he deserved loyalty. Emma closed her eyes tightly, silent tears sliding down. I hurt him more than I realized. You destroyed the one man who loved you more than his own life, Olivia said honestly. Some wounds don't heal back into relationships. Emma nodded, tears falling straight down. No sobbing, no gasping, just quiet grief. Do you think he'll ever forgive me? Maybe, Olivia said. But forgiveness doesn't mean going back, Emma whispered. I don't want him back because I'm jealous. I want him back because I finally understand what I lost. He finally understands what he deserves, Olivia replied. Emma covered her face with both hands. I wish I could take it all back, but you can't, Olivia said softly. Now you have to live with the version of yourself that hurt him. Emma didn't argue. She didn't collapse. She just cried silently, accepting her guilt like a weight she couldn't set down. The next morning, received another email. Emma, I'm not asking for you back. I'm just sorry. Truly sorry. I hovered over it for a moment, then deleted it. My chest tightened not the way it used to. With sharp pain but a dull ache, like a bruise healing under the skin, I whispered to myself, I'm not going back. Later that day, I met Sarah again. She lifted her eyes when she saw me. "You look tired," she said softly. "Just thinking too much. Want to talk or just sit?" "Sit," I said. We sat. Her presence didn't fix anything. It just made breathing easier. Like she held the air still so I could catch it. "You know," she said quietly, "some people break hearts because they don't know how to hold one." "That sounds accurate," I murmured. "And some people heal hearts without trying," she added, looking at me. I blinked. "Are you talking about yourself?" She shrugged gently. "Maybe." I smiled a little. "You're doing a decent job." "A decent job?" She teased with a soft laugh. "That's the best compliment I've gotten all week." "I mean it," I said. "You help me breathe." Her expression softened in a way that made my chest warm. "Good. I'll keep doing that." Talked nothing heavy, nothing complicated. Just simple conversations that felt like stepping out of a storm. We weren't anything romantic yet, but she felt like sunlight after a long winter. As the day ended, I walked to my car feeling a strange mix of ache and relief. Emma's regret lingered in the back of my mind, not enough to pull me down, but enough to remind me of the weight of what we'd been. For the first time, I realized something important. I wasn't healing because Emma was breaking. I was healing because someone finally saw me. Someone gentle. Someone present. Someone new. And for the first time since everything fell apart, I let myself breathe. Asterisk, I stood outside the coffee shop rehearsing the same sentence for the 10th time. "Hey, Sarah, I was wondering if you'd maybe like to go out sometime? No, too stiff." "Hey, want to grab dinner? If you're free? No pressure?" "No." I sounded unemployed. "Finally," I whispered, "just talk like a normal human. Michael." Then the door opened, and Sarah walked out smiling. "Morning," she said, lifting her cup. "Morning," I replied. Suddenly forgetting English, she raised an eyebrow. "You okay?" "Yeah, totally. Completely fine." "Oh," she laughed. "Unhung? Definitely believable." I rubbed the back of my neck. My palms were sweating. "Perfect. I wanted to ask you something," she said, sipping her drink. "Should I sit down for this? It feels serious." "It's not serious," I said quickly. "I mean, it is, but also not? Maybe? God, I'm doing this terribly." She grinned. "You're adorable when you panic." "I'm not panicking, asterisk. You absolutely are." I inhaled. "Okay. Look, I was wondering if you'd like to go out with me. Like a real date. Not just coffee and emotional therapy." She tilted her head, smiling so softly it calmed my lungs. "You're asking me out?" "Yes," I said. "Unless I already ruined it." She paused. Just long enough to terrify me, then said, "I'd love to." My breath left my body in one long exhale. "Really?" "Yes, really." She nudged my arm. "Relax." I said, "Yes." "Right? Right, okay, cool. Great." She laughed again. "You're cute when you're nervous." "I'm not nervous," I lied. "You absolutely are," she repeated. We met that evening at a small restaurant downtown. Warm lighting, soft music, nothing fancy. When she walked in, I forgot how to breathe again. She smiled. "You clean up nicely." "You too," I said. "I mean, not that you needed to clean up, Hugh. Always look good, okay? I'm talking too much." She sat across from me laughing. "Please don't ever stop talking like that. It's endearing. You're enjoying this way too much." "Of course," she said. "I earned this front row seat to your awkward charm." I shook my head, smiling despite myself. "I'm not usually like this." "I know," she said gently. "That's why it's cute." The waiter came, we ordered, and soon we were eating and talking like we'd known each other for years. She asked, "So what made you pick this place?" "It looked nice," I said. "And the reviews said the chairs were comfortable." She laughed. "You chose a restaurant based on chair reviews?" "Yes. Comfort is important." She raised her glass. "2 comfortable chairs." I clinked mine against hers. "And survival." Conversation flowed Isolide jokes, stories about terrible childhood haircuts, her failed attempt to become a plant mom, my confession that I once cried because I stepped on a snail. She nearly spit out her drink. "You cried?" "It was a good snail," I said defensively. She was laughing so hard she had to cover her face. I felt something loosen inside me, something I hadn't felt in months. Warmth, joy, actual joy. At one point she leaned forward and said, "You know, I haven't laughed this much in a long time." "Me neither," I said honestly. Her eyes softened. "It suits you." Laughter. "Yes, you look lighter." I paused. "Maybe you're the reason." She blinked, cheeks warming slightly. "Careful. That almost sounded smooth." "I'm allowed one smooth line per date." She smiled. "Well, you used it well." After dinner, we walked outside into the cool night air. She tucked her hands into her coat pockets. "So, how do you feel after surviving your first real date in months?" I hesitated. "Good. Really good." She smiled. "Me too." I exhaled slowly. "Thank you. For what?" "For reminding me I'm still capable of feeling normal." "You're more than normal," she said. "You're healing." I nodded. She touched my arm lightly. Just a small gesture, but it felt huge. "You're doing better than you think." We stood there for a moment, in silence that didn't hurt. "Want to do this again sometime?" she asked. I smiled. "Absolutely." But someone else was watching us. Across the street, near the corner, stood Emma. She wasn't close enough to speak, but close enough to see everything: our smiles, our laughter, the way Sarah's hand rested gently on my arm. Her face was pale, her eyes glassy, her shoulders slumped like someone had taken the last piece of hope from her. I didn't go to her. I didn't wave. I didn't even meet her gaze for more than a second. Because for the first time, I didn't feel pulled backward. I looked at Sarah. She smiled softly. "Ready to head home?" "Yeah," I said. "Let's go." When I walked away with her, something inside me shifted. Lightly, quietly, a door in my heart finally closed, and a new one opened. Emma watched us disappear into the night, realizing, maybe for the first time, she had truly lost me. Daniel called me one evening and said, "Hey, can you stop by? I need to talk to you." He sounded nervous, which was strange. Daniel was never nervous. When I got to his apartment, he paced before blurting, "I'm engaged." I blinked. "Wait, seriously?" "To Lily," he grinned. "Yeah. I proposed yesterday." I hugged him. "That's amazing, man. Really?" "Thanks," he said. Then he rubbed the back of his neck. "There's something else? Here it comes. I want you to be my best man." I smiled. "Of course. I'm honored and, before I say this, just know I didn't plan it." I raised an eyebrow. "Say what?" He exhaled. "Emma will probably be invited." My stomach dropped a little, not painfully, just unexpected. "Because of Lily?" I asked. "Yeah," he said. "Apparently they're close to Lily's sister. And Lily wants her sister to have her favorite people around her for the wedding party, and Emma somehow made the list." I sat down. "Wow." Daniel winced. "I'm sorry. I would have avoided it if I could." "It's fine," I said calmly. "I can handle seeing her." "You sure?" he asked. I nodded. "I'm not made of glass." He sighed with relief.
Thanks.
"I just didn't want you blindsided." "I appreciate it," I said. A week later, I overheard the conversation that set everything into motion. I was at Lily's parents' house for a small planning meeting when Lily's sister, Carly, said loudly, "So I asked Emma to be one of the bridesmaids." She said yes. There was cheering. I stayed quiet. Then Carly added, "And Daniel's brother Michael is going to be the best man." I heard a soft gasp. Everyone turned. Emma stood near the doorway, her hand pressed to her chest like she'd been hit. Her eyes were wide, lips parted. For a moment, she didn't breathe. Carly smiled at her. "Isn't that sweet? You two will both be part of the wedding team." Emma didn't smile. She didn't move. She just stared at the ground. Lily stepped forward. "Emma, Are you okay? Emma whispered. He's the best man? Yes, Lily said. Is that a problem? Emma swallowed hard. No, I didn't know. Daniel gave me a quick, apologetic look. I pretended not to notice. After the meeting, Emma approached the group again, trying to be composed. But when someone asked her a simple question about dress colors, she suddenly broke. She covered her mouth and sat down, shoulders trembling. Carly rushed over. Emma, what's wrong? Emma shook her head. I'm fine. I'm just sorry. I'm so sorry. Lily knelt next to her. You're shaking, Emma whispered, barely audible. I didn't know he'd be here. I didn't know? Someone asked. Who? Her eyes lifted toward me for a split second before looking away. Oh, Carly whispered softly. Emma's tears fell silently, one after another. Not dramatic, not loud, just painful, she whispered. I hurt him. And now I have to stand across from him in a wedding, pretending like everything is fine? I don't know if I can do that. Lily rubbed her shoulder gently. You don't have to talk to him. Emma shook her head. I don't want to upset him. I just wasn't ready to see how far he's moved on. Someone asked her, Are you still in love with him? Emma didn't answer. She just cried harder. I watched it all from across the room. Not with satisfaction. Not with anger. Just clarity. This was the natural consequence of choices she made long before this moment, and I felt nothing sharp. Nothing burning, just calm. Daniel pulled me aside. You okay? I'm fine, I said. That looked rough. For her, I replied. Not me. He nodded slowly. I guess things really changed for you. They had to, I said. He clapped my shoulder. Proud of you, man. As everyone began leaving, Emma finally gathered enough courage to walk toward me. She stopped a few steps away. Michael. I turned to her with a neutral expression. Emma. Her voice was shaky. I didn't know you were the best man. I didn't know you were a bridesmaid, I replied calmly. She nodded, wiping her face. This is hard. Sure it is, I said. I'm not trying to make things uncomfortable. I know, she swallowed. Seeing you like this hurts. I didn't respond. She whispered, You don't feel anything anymore, do you? I met her eyes. I feel resolved. Her face cracked slightly. I wish I could go back, Emma, I said gently but firmly. We're exactly where our choices led us. She covered her mouth again, tears slipping through her fingers. I'm sorry. I nodded once. I know. Her eyes widened, not because I forgave her, because I wasn't breaking anymore. That was what shattered her. She stepped back. You really are moving on. Yes, I said softly. I am. She turned away, shoulders trembling quietly, and for the first time. Watching her fall apart didn't pull me down. It didn't reopen wounds. It simply confirmed something I had been feeling for weeks. Wasn't hers anymore. I wasn't the broken man she once knew. I was someone new. She was finally realizing she had truly lost me. Asterisk. The rehearsal dinner was loud with laughter and clinking glasses when Emma approached me. I saw her coming before she spoke, slow steps, tense shoulders, eyes already glossy. Michael, she whispered. I kept my posture still. Yes, she swallowed. Can we talk? We're in the middle of dinner, I said calmly. I know, she said, voice trembling, but I need to say something. I nodded once. Go ahead. She took a shaky breath. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything I did. I know I've said it before, but I mean it more now. I didn't respond. She continued, I ruined us. I ruined you. I ruined myself. I wish. Her voice cracked. I wish I could take it back. Emma, I said evenly, this isn't the time. Asterisk. She reached for my hand. Please, just let me. I pulled my hand away gently but firmly. Don't. Her lips trembled. You won't even look at me. I am looking at you, I said, tone unchanged. But nothing you say changes the past. She blinked rapidly, trying not to cry. It's not about changing the past. It's about acknowledging what I did. I've acknowledged it, I said, and I've moved on. Her breath shuddered. I haven't. That's your path, I replied. Not mine. Before she could answer, the doors swung open, and Lucas stumbled in drunk, loud and already swearing. There he is, Daniel muttered. Perfect timing. Lucas staggered toward the tables. Where's my girl? Emma. Babe. Emma froze. He bumped into a chair and nearly flipped it. People gasped. Lily's parents exchanged mortified looks. Emma whispered, Lucas, stop. Please. He ignored her and pointed at me. And you? Look at you. Best man, Mr. Perfect. Bet you think you're better than me. I stayed still. Lucas, sit down. You're making a scene. Scene, he barked. You haven't seen a scene yet. Emma grabbed his arm. Lucas, please just sit. He yanked his arm away. Dante, touch me. You think I'm here for you? I'm here because they made me. You're embarrassing.
Emma's face fell.
Lucas. People whispered. Lily covered her mouth. Daniel looked at me helplessly. I stepped forward not to help Emma, but to stop this from getting worse. Lucas, I said. That's enough. He shoved a finger in my face. Or what? You'll take her back? Walk outside, I said. Now, make me, he sneered. Daniel joined me. Lucas, go. Lucas scoffed, stumbled backward, and nearly fell. Fine, I'll go. All of you. You're all fake. He pushed the door open and left. Silence filled the room. Emma stood trembling, staring at the floor. Someone whispered, Is she okay? She whispered, I'm sorry, then covered her mouth and rushed out into the hallway. I wasn't planning to follow her, but Lily's worried look made me step out too. Make sure she wasn't collapsing somewhere publicly. Found her leaning against the wall, crying quietly into her hands. Emma, I said evenly. She looked up, tears streaking her face. I'm so stupid. This isn't the place, I said. I ruined everything, she whispered. I ruined my dignity, my relationship, my life. And I ruined you. I stayed still. Emma, no, she interrupted softly. Let me finish. She wiped her face with shaking hands. The day I betrayed you was the day I destroyed my own life. And I knew it even then. But I was too arrogant to admit it. I listened without moving. She continued, voice breaking but quiet. You were the safest place I ever had. And I threw it away for someone who doesn't even respect me. That was your choice, I said. She nodded slowly. I know. And every day I feel it. Her voice lowered to a whisper. It hurts so much. I didn't speak. She slid down the wall slightly, covering her face again. I don't want you back. I just wanted you to know I'm not blind anymore. I understand, I said calmly. She looked up, eyes begging for something, anything. Can you? Say something else. Anything. I shook my head. No, her expression shattered. I stepped back. Take a moment. Then go inside when you're ready, she whispered. You hate me. No, I don't hate you, I said. I'm just done. Her breath left her body in one painful exhale. She clutched her chest like she needed to hold herself together. I turned. Michael. She whispered behind me. I didn't stop walking. She didn't call again, and for the first time, the sound of her crying didn't drag anything out of me, not anger, not sympathy, not sadness, nothing, just silence. Asterisk, the morning of the wedding felt strangely peaceful. No nerves, no heaviness, just a quiet clarity. I stood beside Daniel at the altar, straightening his tie while he laughed nervously. You good? He asked. I'm calm, I said. He raised an eyebrow. Calm? Today of all days? Yeah, I said. I don't shake anymore. Daniel smiled. I'm proud of you, man. Thanks, I said. Guests filled the room. Soft music played. Everything looked warm and golden. I stood tall, watching with steady breathing. no tremble in my hands. Then Lily's sister whispered, "Bridesmaids are lining up." Daniel muttered, "Here we go." I nodded once. "I'm ready." The doors opened. The first bridesmaid walked in. Then the second. My eyes didn't move. Then Emma appeared. She froze for half a second when she saw me. Her bouquet trembled. Her lips parted like she'd forgotten how to breathe. Tears gathered immediately. She tried to blink them away, but they fell anyway. Her eyes were locked on me. I didn't move. I didn't flinch. She stepped forward slowly, her shoulders shaking. As she reached me, she whispered, barely audible, "I'm sorry." I looked straight ahead, calm. Steady, neutral, she broke. Her breath hitched. Her chin quivered. Her steps faltered. She tried to hide it, but everyone saw it, the way her chest tightened, the way tears streamed down silently, the way her world folded in on itself when she realized nothing she said could touch me. Nothing. She walked past me with her hand covering her mouth. Daniel whispered, "You okay?" "Completely," I said. He exhaled. "Man, she's not." "That's not my responsibility," I replied. The ceremony began. I stayed still. The vows, the music, the laughter, it all flowed around me like warm air. Then something shifted in the room. Sarah walked in. My mother guided her to the seat beside her. Sarah smiled politely at guests, then looked up at me. Our eyes met. She gave me a soft, warm smile, small, gentle, glowing. I felt my chest loosen like someone opening a window after a long winter. I gave her a small nod in return. That tiny exchange, simple, quiet, held more emotion than my entire past with Emma ever had at the end. And Emma saw it. Her head turned sharply. Her eyes darted from me to Sarah and back again. I saw it happen the exact second her knees weakened. She reached for the back of a chair to steady herself. Her bouquet slipped slightly in her hand. Her breathing quickened. Her eyes filled instantly with a deeper, heavier pain. Daniel whispered, "Oh God." "She's breaking," I whispered. "Let her." The officiant spoke, but Emma barely heard any of it. She was staring at the two of us, me calm and whole, Sarah warm and glowing beside my family. Then she mouthed, "He's gone." Her tears spilled again. After the ceremony, people hugged Daniel and Lily. I stood nearby greeting relatives when Lily's mother approached me. "You were wonderful up there," she said. "Thank you," I replied. Emma hovered nearby, gripping her bouquet with shaky fingers. She stepped toward me slowly. "Michael," her voice cracked. "Yes," I said, tone steady. "You didn't even look at me." "I did," I said, briefly. "That wasn't looking," she whispered. "That was enough," I said calmly. Her lips trembled. I said I was sorry. "And I heard you," I replied. She blinked. "Do you really feel nothing?" "Nothing that pulls me backward," she swallowed, tears reflecting the chandelier lights. You're so calm." "I don't understand how. I rebuilt myself," I said. "And you don't get access to that version of me." She sucked in a breath, like the words physically hit her. "I ruined everything." "That's between you and yourself," I said. "Not me." Her knees buckled slightly. She steadied herself on the wall. She whispered, "Seeing you up there today. Strong, confident. I realized I don't exist in your life anymore." "You chose that," I said. She nodded slowly. "And now I'm paying for it." "Emma," I said, "this is your path, not mine." She closed her eyes, tears falling quietly. "I thought I'd be okay seeing you again. I thought maybe I could handle it, but I can't." "That's part of healing," I said. "No," she said, voice trembling. "This isn't healing. This is consequence." I didn't respond. She looked at Sarah, who was laughing softly with my mother. "She makes you smile differently." She does," I said. "You never smiled that way with me," she whispered. I gave a small exhale. "That says enough." Emma pressed her hand to her chest. "I lost you. I truly lost you." I nodded once. "Yes, you did." She shook, as if the words hollowed her out from the inside. And you're... Okay, for the first time in a long time, she took a shaky step backward. I don't know how to live with this. It's not something I can help you with, I said. Her tears fell harder, silently, steadily. I wish you happiness, she whispered. You too, I said gently, but my voice held no attachment, only closure. She realized it, and the realization destroyed her. She turned away, wiping her face, her shoulders trembling with each step. She disappeared into a quiet corner of the venue, unable to stand under the weight of her own choices. I didn't follow. I looked toward Sarah. She smiled, softly warm, steady, bright. I walked toward her and behind me, somewhere near the altar where everything once broke. Emma's heart finally shattered completely. Asterisk, the ceremony ended with cheers, music, and flashing cameras. People hugged and laughed around us, but I stayed near the back, breathing quietly. I felt light, clear-minded, in a way I hadn't felt in a long time. Then I heard her voice. Michael, can I have 5 minutes? I turned. Emma stood a few feet away, eyes red, bouquet wilting in her hand. Her posture was small, almost collapsing into itself. 5 minutes, I said calmly. She nodded and led me to a quieter corner of the venue. The moment we stepped away from the crowd, she broke into a trembling whisper. I need to tell you everything. I stayed still. Go ahead. She swallowed hard. Lucas used me. From the beginning, he never cared. He never wanted me. I was convenient. I didn't respond. He lied to me. He made me feel chosen, and I was stupid enough to believe it. Her breath shook. I ruined my life because I thought he was better than you. Silence. She wiped her face. He wasn't. He never was. You were. I kept my expression neutral. She stepped closer. You were the only person who loved me for who I was. And I threw that away. I threw you away. Still I didn't answer. She continued, voice cracking. I told myself I'd be fine. I told myself I'd move on. I told myself you'd still care a little. That maybe you'd still love me somewhere. I watched her quietly. She pressed a hand to her chest. But seeing you today, seeing how strong you are, how calm, how happy, her voice broke. It destroyed me. I said nothing. Asterisk, she took a shaking breath. Lucas left me. He embarrassed me. He humiliated me. And I realized something: he didn't break me. I broke myself when I betrayed you. Her shoulders trembled as she whispered, I never stopped loving you. Michael. The words hung in the air, heavy and hollow. Finally, she asked the question I knew was coming. Do you? Do you still love me? I looked her straight in the eyes. No, I said, calm and clear. Not anymore. It hit her instantly. Her knees buckled. She covered her mouth, a choked sound escaping her throat. Please, she cried softly. Please don't say that. Please don't let it be over like this. It's been over, I said, still steady. For a long time. She shook her head violently. No, it can't be. I wake up every day hating myself. I barely sleep. I barely function. I think about you every second. I replay everything I did and I can't forgive myself. I ruined the only good thing I ever had. Her tears fell faster. I stood there like a stone. She whispered, I thought maybe. Somehow, if I apologized enough, if I showed you how sorry I am, maybe I could fix something. You can't, I said softly. Some things stay broken. She gasped, hand trembling against her lips. I can't believe how badly I destroyed us. You destroyed yourself too, I said. She nodded, crying harder. I know, and I don't know how to live with it. That's something you'll have to learn, I replied. She reached out a shaking hand. Michael, please don't walk away. Not yet. I didn't move toward her. Emma, nothing I say will change your pain, and nothing you say will change my peace. She fell to her knees, crying uncontrollably. I lost you. I lost everything. And it's my fault. All my fault. Yes, I said quietly. It is, She sobbed into her hands, her body shaking. I'm begging you, she whispered. Tell me there's something left. Anything, even a little piece. There isn't, I said. Her head dropped. Then I deserve this. I deserve every moment of this. I watched her cry, not with anger, not with satisfaction, not with pity, just calm detachment. She looked up weakly. Do you hate me? No, I said. I don't hate you. I just don't love you. That was what finally broke her. A long, broken sob ripped out of her chest as she curled forward. Trying to breathe between the waves of regret, I turned. Goodbye, Emma. She choked out a whisper, barely audible. Goodbye. Michael. I walked toward the exit without looking back. As I stepped into the hallway, Sarah appeared, concern in her eyes. Are you okay? I'm fine, I said. She touched my arm gently, grounding me. You don't look shaken. I'm not. Did it help? She asked. It ended something, I said. Something that needed to end. She squeezed my arm, then let it stay ended. I nodded. I will. We walked forward together, away from the crying echo behind us. No anger. No revenge. Just peace. The kind that comes from choosing yourself and leaving the past on its knees, exactly where it fell. Asterisk, I woke up the Monday after the wedding feeling lighter than I had in years. Not excited, not overwhelmed, just open. Like someone had cracked a window in my chest and let fresh air in. On the way to work, Sarah called. Good morning, she said, her voice warm. Sleep okay? Better than I expected, I said. You. I slept great, she replied. I kept thinking about how calm you looked yesterday. Yes, I laughed softly. You make that easier? She paused. Well, I'm glad. Her voice had this quiet brightness too. It like sunlight you can hear at work. My manager waved me into his office. Michael. Close the door, he said. I sat curious. Everything okay? He smiled. More than okay. The board approved your promotion. You're moving into senior project lead? I blinked. Seriously? Seriously? He said. Your work has been exceptional these past months. Focused, sharp. Whatever you've been doing, keep doing it. I laughed under my breath. Thanks. Really. Congratulations, he said, extending his hand. I shook it, feeling a warm swell in my chest, not pride, exactly, but confirmation that I was finally building something for myself. When I stepped out, Brandon slapped my back. Dude. I knew it, he grinned. Finally, someone recognizes your brain. Apparently, I said. So what now? Fancy lunches? Expensive pens. He teased. I laughed. Just doing my job. You're glowing, man, he said. You happy? Yeah, I said. I think I am. Later that week, Sarah and I sat at the park. The air was crisp, the sky soft blue. She nudged my shoulder. You're smiling again, she said. I didn't know I stopped, I replied. You did? She said. For a long time, I watched a group of kids run across the grass. Feels different now. She tilted her head. How? Like I'm finally facing forward. She smiled. Good. That's exactly where you're supposed to be. I chuckled. You always know what to say. I just speak truth. Looked at her for a moment, her soft eyes. Her gentle posture, and felt something warm settle inside me. Meanwhile, the world Emma had tried to build was falling apart quietly. I didn't hear it from her. I heard it from Olivia one afternoon when she called. Michael. I don't know if you care, but Lucas left Emma. Exhaled slowly. I figured it was coming. He didn't even try to hide it, Olivia said. He just left. No explanation. Just packed up. Typical, I said. She tried to keep it together, Olivia continued. But it's bad. She's moving back to her parents' place today. I didn't respond at first. Are you okay hearing that? Olivia asked gently. Yeah, I said. I'm okay. There was a silence before she said, I think she finally understands everything. I know, I said. But that's her journey now. You're different, Olivia said softly. Lighter. I'm trying, I said. You're succeeding, she replied. That evening, Sarah and I walked downtown, getting ice cream even though the night was chilly. Why are you laughing? She asked as I chuckled. I don't know, I admitted. I just feel good, she smiled. Good is a nice place to start. We found a bench and sat down. The streetlights glowed warm and golden, so she said, promotion at work, smiles at home, breathing easier. What's next on your list? Joy, I said without thinking. She laughed softly. Joy? Yeah, I said. Just joy. Well, she said, leaning slightly toward me. You're doing a pretty good job so far. I smiled. Thanks. She looked at me for a moment. I like this version of you. I like him too. A couple days later, my mother called. Have you heard about Emma? She asked I said. She moved home today. She said gently. Your father helped carry boxes. He said she looked empty, I see, I replied calmly. Michael. My mother hesitated. Do you feel anything about it? I looked out the window at the evening sky. I feel like life is moving in the direction it should. She exhaled. And you're okay? I'm better than okay, I said. She smiled through the phone. Good, you deserve that. That weekend, Sarah and I were out walking when she suddenly asked, Do you ever think about her? I shook my head. Not in the way I used to. How do you think about her now? She asked. I took a breath. As someone who's no longer part of my story? She nodded slowly. Does that make you sad? No, I said. It makes me free. She smiled, soft and proud. You really have changed, I chuckled. Thanks to you, partly. She nudged me. I didn't do anything. You did, I said. More than you realize. She didn't answer. Instead, she smiled a smile that felt like a sunrise after a long night. That night. As I lay in bed, I thought about everything: my promotion, my calmness, Sarah's warmth, the slow return of my own joy. And then I thought about Emma, not with longing, not with anger, but with clarity. She was living the consequences of her choices. I was living the reward of mine. I whispered into the quiet room. Karma did what I never had to. For the first time, peace didn't feel like a pause, it felt like victory. 3 months passed. And for the first time in a long time, the world didn't feel heavy on my shoulders. I walked into the coffee shop, and Sarah looked up from her seat, smiling. There you are, she said. I was starting to think you forgot me. I laughed. Forget you? Not possible. She leaned forward. You sound different lately. Happier. I feel different, I said. Happier. She touched my hand lightly. Good. You deserve that. I squeezed her fingers gently. So do you. We left together, walking down the street as the afternoon sun warmed the pavement. Sarah swung our joined hands a little. When are we telling your family we're official? She asked teasingly. Tonight, I said. Whether they're ready or not. She laughed. They already love me. They do, I admitted. My mother especially. Your mother hugged me so tight last week I almost passed out, she joked. I smirked. That means she approves. That evening, my family gathered for dinner. My mother eyed me suspiciously the moment Sarah and I walked in holding hands. So, she said slowly, is this something real now? Sarah blushed. We're official, my mother gasped dramatically. Finally. Daniel patted my back. Dude, it's about time, Lily giggled. You two look adorable. I rolled my eyes. Can everyone relax? My father raised his glass. Nope, we're celebrating this. Sarah nudged me. I told you, they'd be happy. I smiled. I know. My mother leaned toward me as everyone chatted. She's good for you, she whispered. I know, I said quietly. She doesn't break me. My mother smiled knowingly. Love shouldn't. A week later, Sarah and I sat on my couch, watching a movie neither of us was really paying attention to. She rested her head on my shoulder. Can I ask you something? She said softly, anything. Do you ever think about before? Not the way I used to, I said. Does it hurt at all now? No, I said honestly. It's like touching a scar. You remember it, but it doesn't bleed anymore. She smiled gently. I'm glad. Me too. Asterisk, she looked up at me. So what does the future look like for you now? I thought for a moment. Peaceful, warm, not heavy. And me? She asked playfully. I kissed her forehead. You're part of that warmth, she laughed. Good answer. A few days later, I drove to the old bookstore where Emma and I first met. Not for closure. Not for sadness. Just for a quiet goodbye. When I walked inside, the familiar smell of old paper hit me. The wooden floor creaked the same way it did years ago. The same soft jazz played in the background. I stood in the aisle where she once bumped into me. Spilling a stack of books, I whispered, I remember who I was, and who I became. A soft voice behind me said, You okay? I turned. The shop owner smiled warmly. Haven't seen you in a while? I'm just visiting, I said. Letting go of something? She asked gently. I nodded. Yeah, letting go. She smiled again. Good. People carry too much weight from places like this. I exhaled. Not anymore. When she walked away, I stood there a moment longer. No tears, no tightness, no ache, just acceptance. I whispered quietly, goodbye. Bye to who I was. Goodbye to what hurt me. Goodbye to the version of myself that loved someone who couldn't hold that love. I walked out of the shop feeling lighter than I ever had. That night, Sarah called me. Where were you? She asked. At a place from my past, I said. Closing a door? Did it work? Yes, I said. Completely. She hesitated. And how do you feel? I smiled. Free. Come over, she said softly. I want to see that version of you. I laughed. On my way. When I reached her apartment, she opened the door and immediately pulled me into a hug. You feel different? She whispered. I am different, I said. We sat on her couch, her legs curled under her, her eyes shining in the warm light of her living room lamp. Tell me, she said, what changed? I finally realized something, I said. What? That love shouldn't break you. It should help you stand. She smiled, and it was the kind of smile that made the world feel safe again. I like that. It took me a long time to learn, I said. She reached for my hand. Well, I'll make sure you never forget it. I'm counting on you. So what now? Now, I said. I build a future that doesn't hurt with me. She asked gently. I kissed her hair. Yes, with you. She sighed happily. Good, because I'm not going anywhere. Later, as I drove home, the night sky felt clearer, the streets quieter, the air lighter. Life wasn't perfect, no. Life ever is. But the weight was gone. The wounds had healed, and the past no longer whispered to me. I finally understood something important. Healing isn't loud. It isn't dramatic. It's quiet. It's slow. It's choosing yourself every single day until you finally stand tall again. As I pulled into my driveway, I looked up at the stars and whispered to myself, I made it. Not just out of the pain, but into something better, into a future built without hurt, without doubt, without regret, a future built without pain. Asterisk, the morning of my wedding felt brighter than any morning I could remember. The sunlight coming through the window looked softer, warmer, almost like it knew this was the beginning of something good. I stood in front of the mirror adjusting my tie when Daniel walked in. You look stupidly happy, he said. I feel stupidly happy, I laughed. He grinned. Good. You deserved a smile this big. I'm getting married, I said, almost in disbelief. Daniel shook his head. Man, the way Sarah looks at you, she's all in. I know, I said softly. That's the best part. We walked outside to the small garden where the ceremony would take place. Soft music played, the chairs were arranged in rows, and everything smelled like flowers and warm air. My mother rushed over, wiping tears. Michael, you look ho. Sweetheart, she hugged me too tight. Mom, breathe, I laughed. I'm just happy, she sniffed. You're glowing. Thank you, I said. She cupped my face. A mother knows when her child found the right person. I smiled. I did. Before she could respond, Brandon jogged over. Dude, this is amazing. You ready? More than ready. Good, he said. Because she's walking down in like 2 minutes, and my heart lifted, joyful, soft, almost weightless. When the music changed, everyone stood. I looked toward the walkway and saw Sarah step forward. She wore a simple dress, glowing in the sunlight. Smiling at me like I was the only person in the world, Daniel whispered, "Breathe, man." "I can't," I said. Laughing under my breath, Sarah reached me, eyes shining. She whispered, "Hi." "Hi," I said, smiling like an idiot. "You look happy," she said. "I am happy." The officiant cleared his throat. "Shall we begin?" We took each other's hands, and her fingers fit perfectly with mine. "Michael," she said softly, "you walked into my life at the right time." "And you helped me walk out of the darkness," I replied. She laughed softly. "I didn't do anything. You did everything," I said. The officiant guided us through our vows. When it was my turn, I looked at her and spoke without fear. "I'm choosing joy with you. I'm choosing peace with you. I'm choosing a future that feels alive." Her eyes filled with happy tears. "Then I choose all of that with you." The officiant smiled. "By the power given to me, I pronounce you husband and wife." I kissed her, soft and full of warmth. The guests cheered, Daniel yelled something ridiculous, and my mother let out a cry-laugh combination that made everyone laugh. Sarah pressed her forehead to mine. "We did," I said. After the ceremony, we walked around greeting guests, laughing, sharing small moments of joy. At one point, Sarah leaned to whisper, "You're smiling too much." "Impossible," I said. She laughed. "You're glowing. So are you." But then something shifted. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed someone standing far behind the trees, half hidden in the shade. Emma. She wasn't dressed for a wedding. She wasn't supposed to be here. But she watched quietly from the shadows, hands clasped, expression unreadable at first. Sarah followed my gaze. "Is that?" "Yes," I said softly. "Do you want me to?" "No," I said gently. "It's okay." Emma didn't move closer. She only watched, face softening, eyes lowering as she saw Sarah slip her hand into mine. Sarah whispered, "You okay?" "Yeah," I said, surprising myself with how true it felt. "I'm better than okay." Emma stepped back slightly, her face shifting into something almost accepting. She wasn't crying. She wasn't panicking. She simply stood there, watching from a distance, understanding something without being told. For the first time, her presence didn't sting. She looked at me one last time. I smiled, not for her, not for us, but because my life had finally moved forward, and that smile told her everything. She bowed her head, slowly turned, and walked away without a sound. Sarah squeezed my hand. "That looked hard." "It wasn't," I said. "Not anymore." She smiled softly. "Good." Later, during the small reception, Sarah leaned on my shoulder. "Can I ask you something?" She said, "Of course. What does today feel like for you?" I took a breath, feeling the warm evening air around us. "It feels like freedom," I said, "like I finally reached the place I was always meant to end up." She smiled. "And I get to be part of that?" "You are the best part of that." She blushed. "Michael, you're going to make me cry. It's a wedding," I said, laughing. "You're supposed to cry." She nudged me playfully. "You're supposed to cry too." "I already did," I said. "Inside." She burst out laughing. "I love you." "I love you too," I said, pulling her close. The night wrapped us in warm golden lights, soft music, and quiet laughter. My world felt whole. My life felt my own again, no ghosts, no pain, no regret, just joy. Pure earned joy. As the evening faded and the stars appeared, I whispered the final truth of my journey, words that felt like they belonged to every step I took to get here.
Some hearts break you so you can find the one that heals you.